Physics is a subject that most aspirants, most especially UTME and post-UTME aspirants, tend to have difficulty passing or understanding. Now, in this video, I'll be sharing with you how I got 96 out of 100 in my UTME physics. Hi, my name is Pelumi, also known as Kenst. I'm a fifth-year medical student of the University of Ibadan. I post educational content, self-learning content, contents around school, about medical school, vlogging. So if you're interested in any one of this, kindly hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you'll be updated every single time I post it. So without wasting much of our time, let's get to the video. One of the things I did, or like the first thing I did, not necessarily the first, but one of the things I did was to use more than 2 textbooks. So as at the time I was using new school physics, I was using science physics, I was using college physics, I was using calculation in physics. I was using a lot of physics textbooks. So, and the thing about using a lot of physics textbooks is like you tend to like repeat. So you read a topic here, you read a topic in this textbook, you read a topic in this other textbook, and everything's kind of like find a way of coming together. So you tend to like repeat what you are reading. So rather than revising or doing repetition and all that, you're already repeating it because since you're using different textbooks. So I think that's one of the things I remember that I did that actually really helped me is to use more than one textbook. But there are some textbooks that explain some concepts better than the other. So if you use different textbooks, I think you have a different approach to understanding the concept that you're trying to study. Now, the second thing I did was to commit 6 hours daily to study. Now, the 6 hours is not just for physics alone; it's for all other subjects. So literally every day I tend to like go to the library from I think around 10, then I leave around 4, 5, 6. Anytime I like feel tired, but I always make sure that I hit that 6 hour target every day. And as I said before, that it's not just for physics alone; it's for the biology, the English, and then the chemistry. So, and I was doing this every single day. And I think the reason I was able to keep up with that, because I think it's very difficult for people to actually keep up with studying regularly and studying consistently. I just wanted to just pass because I was already staying at home for like 2 years or so, and it was already becoming a bit, let's say, disgraceful kind of. So I knew I had to just gain admission that year. So I dedicated that much time to actually study. So I think mine was 6 hours. Now, depending on how much time you can commit, so the important thing is to actually be consistent with that amount of time that you choose to actually use, and also to stay away from distraction because most times people tend to say, oh, they are reading for 5 hours, they're reading for 6 hours, whereas most of those 5 hours or 6 hours they are probably on their phone and playing games or whatever it is. So try to make sure that you keep to that time. You can break down the time into like 1 hour or 30 minutes. So you read for 30 minutes, you take a break, you read for 30 minutes, like that till you complete that 6 hours. Now, the third thing I did was to practice a lot of questions. I did a lot of questions. Most of the questions at the back of LAMLAD, at the back of calculation physics, at the back of new school physics. I make sure I went through every single thing. And and one thing I notice whenever I'm trying to practice those questions, I tend to realize that, oh yes, I don't understand this thing very well. Because the moment I make a mistake in the question that I'm trying to like solve, I know that, oh, I have to go back and then go and read it again so I will have a better understanding. And since physics is mostly calculations, not necessarily entirely calculations, but mostly calculations. So you have to really understand the step-by-step approach to actually solving questions that pertain to that topic before you actually can be very sure of yourself. And oftentimes, mistake people make is they read the topic and then just jump to another topic. They do not revise or they do not practice questions. It's very important that you actually practice questions because that's the only way you know whether you understand it or not. And for calculation questions in physics, so far you solve like 4, 5 different versions of that particular question, like different approach to actually asking questions on that topic. You tend to understand the what would I call it now? The more like the dynamics and the way your examiner tends to like ask questions and what they are expecting you to do. So that next time you go into the exam, there is a very high chance that you will see that same approach, you see that same dynamics, and then you'll be able to like tackle it since you already have like a framework. Since you've practiced before, you already have a framework to actually approach that question. The fourth thing I did was I did a lot of mock exams. Now, not just personal mock exams. I do go to tutorials, do their mock exams, and that gives me an idea of how to answer questions and which subject I should start with first, and how to manage my time very well. Because regardless of the how much you know, if you don't have enough time to actually answer the questions, it's very pointless because there's no way they will know that you know this thing unless you actually answer the questions and you enter the entire questions completely. So going for mock exams give you an idea of how to manage your time, and also it helps you to overcome some of these exam tensions, some of the tension that comes with the exams and all. Now, the fifth thing that I realized that actually helped me, and I think this was one of the things that actually helped me most, like a lot. And as at the time, it was not looking like it was actually helping me. It was like I was wasting my time. Now, it is teaching others. Like I tend to like, if anybody has any problem, like, or probably don't understand the particular concept very well, I tend to like volunteer to like teach them that topic. So I teach people like out of my entire day. I think I usually use like 3 hours or so to actually teach others. So I teach this person the same particular topic. I teach this other person the same particular topic. And that's more like also what repetition. And aside from that, for you to actually teach someone, you actually have to understand it. You have to be able to break it down into the tiniest bit. So I think that also helped me to actually understand the physics thoroughly, like very well into to find details. But if I trying to explain to someone, you have to really know it for you to actually explain it. You can't really teach someone something that you don't know. And also, I think another approach to actually studying the subject, studying physics, is to actually study it as if you are going to teach someone at the end. Because that's the only way you actually tend to like get the entire details, the fine details, and understand the concept very well. Now, this is a bonus tips, but I think the mistake most people make when they are trying to study physics is that they use the same approach they used to study like chemistry, biology to actually study physics. Physics is more like you actually have to be able to visualize things. You should be able to relate it with your everyday life. I think that's one of the important ways to actually understand physics very well. If you're able to relate what you are studying to your everyday life. For example, the work first times distance, like it gives you an idea of, and if you're able to relate it better with your with everything that is going on around you, you really don't have to remember everything like word for word, since you understand and you can relate it to whatever is around you. You don't even have to even open your textbook again. You just have to just look around you and then you see, oh yeah. This is what this question is asking me. Oh, this is what's applicable. For example, now for electricity, for people that are when growing up tend to play a lot with electricity or appliances, you tend to have an idea of, oh, if you connect the wire so way and there will be a problem, the current will be low and all that. So it gives you an idea when you are studying current electricity that, oh, and if the stuff is parallel, the voltage will remain the same across all connections, while if it is in series it will reduce and all that. It gives you an idea about, oh, Albert. So the major approach we should use is understand it, relate what you are studying to what's going on around you, and practice a lot of questions. This is very important. You do not understand physics unless you are able to actually pick up a question, attempt it, and then you are getting the answer correctly. Not just one question, not just two questions, not just three questions. Like as much as possible. That's the only way you know whether, oh yes, you understand this concept or not very well. So that's all, guys. So I hope you find this very helpful. So if you do, kindly hit on the like button and kindly share with your friends that are preparing for UTME this year. Science friends that are preparing for UTME this year. So see you guys in my next video.